some of those picks to come through. BLG still going to be on blue. End up bringing out the Senna once again, so they seem very comfortable with the same 80 carry bands. Looks like with less duos to pick from, means we are just going to get the Lovers duo once again. I wonder if we just end up getting the Nautilus again. Or BLG have anything else they'd want to bring out?
Yeah, I don't know.
Any,
Do you want any more input or?
Any, like top lane bruiser-esque champions that Ar's been playing in the support role? It's not that one, guys. It's not that one.
There are other top lane bruisers that On has been playing in solo queue. I guess, I don't know if bruiser is the right word.
Sure, I mean, yeah.
Do you know what?
I guess any top lane carry just feels like a bruiser at this point.
The thing we're alluding to, since nobody is in on the joke except us and Dagda, On has been spamming Camille's support in solo queue. We were kind of hoping it would come out today alongside the center, but regrettably, it's going to be the Tahm Kench for On instead. Blind Jacks for Bim. And we'll see what EDG want to go for. I feel like you kind of got to go for your top laner, right?
Maybe they're fine, because again, they're still... I was going to say, you still technically have, like, multiple champions. They're going to fare similarly to Jax, right? Like maybe Udyr would be able to get a bit more prio than Cassante, Aatrox, or any of the others, but all kind of would feel they would just be there to just exist in the lane until they get to the deep ice section, right? So would have been a bit more interesting in my mind if they would have gone towards mid lane a bit earlier, like maybe if they picked an Azir there, but bowing to Cassante, we've seen a lot of ridiculous Cassantes today, so definitely not going to blame any team for picking that one up. And I like it taking away some of these other mid laners that would enable playing with Jax in the side lane. We know Knight loves to just kind of push so far into the side lane that his whole team has to follow up and force and engage anyway. So I think a pretty decent call coming out from EDG.
Yep. The Azir picked up by BLG last game. We saw conversations on social media in the break about that being Knight's first ever Azir game. Just want to assure everyone, that was his 17th Azir game since the start of his career. He's been playing a very long time. Certainly not a pick that he prefers, but definitely within his wheelhouse. And actually going to ban the Azir away this time. Corki up and available. If Fisher wants to go back to that, Orianna up and available. See what they're going to opt into, because Nocturne also on the cards could have the combo here for the side of EDG.
Yeah, we'll be up against the Tahm Kench in a Senna, though, which is always a little bit more awkward to play into. Nico, I feel like, would probably be the go-to pick. Again, it really has just been like the standout, wanting presence in lane, but still being so good at denying these types of compositions that want to look for the all-in on top of you. And now it's going to be the fun one, because we've said jungle has kind of felt like one of the most open roles in terms of how often we are getting niche picks coming through. Kindred, of course, is a very fun one that Shun likes to lean into. And in between the Lamb's Respite and the Pop Blossom, like, it is just so hard to run into those two champions.
It really is. And on top of that as well, you've got the Shroud, so even if you're playing a range, you don't really know who's where, and it's very difficult. It's going to be locked in. This is a Shun classic. This, if anyone doesn't already know, I don't know how you don't know this already, but Shun is a monster on Kindred. 24 and 13 over his career. That's a 65% win rate over 37 games. This ain't a new pick for BLG, and he knows that he's happy to take it in this draft.
And hell, he's already even played it this split as well. This ain't even his first time, even though we're only 2 weeks into the LPL. There is the Nocturne that you highlighted. So it's going to be a lot of pressure onto Bin as the game goes later on, and obviously just a lot of... With how the map has changed and how much better I feel like teams have done at warding around like bot lane specifically, I mean, this is just a pick that is able to transcend that and still find those gank opportunities in the bot lane. We hit on it, as the longer the game goes on, Kindred ultimate, Tahm Kench able to go with the Devours, Pop Blossom able to come out, like so many different things that just make it really awkward for Jiejie to full on commit to diving in on this BLG composition.
Yeah, feels like they've really got to go for it. Whether or not they can kind of break the defenses of BLG will be a different question entirely. And honestly, you know, we're talking about the 5v5, we're talking about the full compositions. The real question is, like, do we get to the point in the game where, like, realistic 5v5s are on the cards? Like, unless it's early Drakes, BLG don't often get to the mid game without there being a dramatic gold difference. You know, it's very rare that you get to a BLG late game that's actually fair and even. So EDG, they're going to have to show us that early presence that we got to see in game number 1 if they want a chance of using this 5v5 as an actual team fight composition.
Yeah, you're right. Going to be all on what Jiejie can make happen, I think, especially around the level 6 mark to get their bot lane. Or even mid, right? You have the shockwave there to set up your carries early on, deny people like Knight and Elk from getting big. They were able to keep it close against LGD for vast portions of those games. Doing that against BLG would be a huge step up.
Certainly would. Here we go. On Summoner's Rift. It's game number 2 between BLG and EDG.
Already the level 1 invade coming out. Again, I feel like BLG have been one of the most consistent teams at utilizing this and really just always knowing when they are so strong. Level 1. And even doing a good job to kind of consistently draft things that are able to find some presence at level 1. I guess it goes back to what you're just saying, right? BLG know if they set themselves up in a position to be ahead in literally any way possible, that it just feels so hard for any team to be able to take them down, for any team to be able to like out map them or out team fight them and find maneuvers back in.
Yeah.
There's only one team in the league that can do it.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the question, can they? Because at this point, this is the conversation I tried to bring up in the previous series. I don't know why I was trying to bring up in the previous series, but Knight joining BLG, it's twofold in the advantages, right? Number 1, Knight's a really good mid laner. Nice to have on your team, right? I would say, like, mechanically, in terms of the lane presence you're going to get, Knight an upgrade over Yagao.
Yep.
But there's a bonus factor there. BLG could not beat JDG no matter what they did. Knight, he's got the answers. He was in all those team calls for JDG. He knows exactly what the strategy was to beat BLG every single time, which means he probably has the key in solving those issues for BLG as well. This could be a very different year with Knight on the roster when it comes to their rivalry with JDG.
You know, the thing is, there's just so much like mojo and spunk behind this BLG roster and really like none behind JDG that I even ranked JDG above BLG in my end of the split rankings, which is crazy. But you know, I don't know, something about the hype, something about the mojo. It scares me now, Joe. I'm scared of the mojo.
Wow, you changed, man. You changed.
Yeah. I don't know if I can handle the mojo anymore.
See, I'm all about it still. And Shun is to jump straight into the mid lane. And Fish is dead. Fish is dead. First blood for Shun. Starts the game strong.
Yeah, Tangle Barbs connect. What could you do? And now we're going to head immediately into Jiejie's jungle. Looks like just going to miss out on seeing him. Does still get the start up on the blue buff.
Jiejie knows what's going on, has full vision of the situation, but he's walked onto a ward himself. Smite's available. EDG moving over as well. Doesn't flash straight off of the bat, and he will be chased down. Ignite ticking away. One more auto will do the trick. He's in the brush. He's trying to escape, but in the meantime, the snake was the sacrifice. Elgin on find one.
And this is actually going to be like a lot more meaningful to BLG in my opinion, because I mean you'll actively lose minions as a side of EDG, but no, actually it doesn't look like they're gonna just outright push this one in time, with Elk just trying to keep Vampire from walking forward. So the snake's gonna miss a little bit, but isn't gonna be as bad as it potentially initially looked.
Yeah, just a couple of minions going down before the snake can return to the play.
Oh no, actually didn't miss any.
Really?
Yeah,
I think he missed one. He missed one.
No, he got there in time to cue the one that was dying, and then Vampire was able to pick up the other one. It was actually shocking. I guess maybe other minions had died before then, but we're gonna get a replay of what happened here. Connects with the Tangle Barbs, which did look a little BS. We have on the mini map another invade coming through from BLG, and BLG just never let up on the aggression. That in my mind is kind of one of the differentiating areas between them and like TES. Both teams. Ooh, Bin.
Oh, Bin takes another turret shot. That big news for solo kill. And he might just live up to his name against Bin, one of the best players in the entire league. Flash for flash. And he will walk away with his life. But solo kill putting on the pressure. And Bin really overstepping his mark.
I'm kind of sad for solo kill there. That would have been so hype. Coming in, you know, just getting brought back up to this EDG roster. Now with Ala on the bench, and if you could have been able to get a solo kill on Bin, just like what a feather in the cap to have, even if you go down. Just something to give you some confidence and some motivation going forward.
Yeah, would have been incredible for him. Bin just going to let the recall continue. He's got the wave in a fantastic spot. He knows that the TP is going to be forced just by the lane position here. So he's quite happy to allow the recall through. And now, Knight has just hit level 6. That is a big old moment in any game. Knight now, a scary position for EDG. Is Vampire going for a trade here? And again, Shunt and Knight, look at them pairing up, moving into the jungle together. This is a terrifying little duo.
Yeah, just constantly putting on the pressure, even waiting for the little Scuttle Relic to time out before they got anything going on in River. So doing their due diligence. Now it's just going to be a very early first straight going over to BLG. Knight, you already highlighted with the ult, just going to be able to keep maintaining pressure in this matchup. And yeah, already a 1K gold lead first dragon picked up 6 minutes into the game. So now we're going to have our eyes on Jiejie. He is heading over to the Grubs. But BLG look prepared to try to have Bin to answer, but he's going to have to be careful. Solo kill, having that all out.
No flash available for Bin either, so if he mispositions a little bit, he will be in trouble. Trying to keep a weather eye on Shun and his stacks in this game as well. Obviously the Kindred, when you get to 4 stacks, that's your first big spike. Then you get more every 3. Bin and Solo Kill in a big old 1v1, and Solo Kill's looking good for it. This could be the knockback, this could be the kill. Bin hops to a minion and again, just about gets out with his life.
I was so closely paying attention to if Jiejie would hit 6 off of those Grubs. Wasn't able to. Might be able to off the Scuttle, so we'll see if Solo Kill can keep him here.
Yeah, Bin stays, takes another Q as well. That's
Does he
tough.
ult? Oh, still no ult.
Oh, level 5. But to be honest, I'm not sure you need ult to make the play here. There's not that many minions left. Bin sticking around for the XP at very least. Won't be able to get many of them. Couldn't quite do the snake and still get the whole wave, but does survive. And to be honest, I'm a little surprised that Jiejie and Solo Kill don't pull the trigger on something like that, but that's just scared. Counter-Strike is a thing. You've got a lot of auto damage between the two champions.
Also, Shun wasn't showing anywhere on the map, so I think just having the fear in their mind of like just running straight into that Kindred. Jiejie has ult now, so he's already making his way down towards his side.
Oh, he flashes for it, but the snake spots it and flashes in kind. Knight is the one in trouble instead. The heal comes on through, but Vampire goes down anyway. The root onto the snake as well. Oh my days, how have they done that? 2 kills, and now the Lem's Respite to keep Shun alive. Jiejie is in too deep, but Fisher finds it alongside his jungler. The root onto both players, and suddenly Elk's back into the play with another kill. This is ridiculous. On somehow getting out with his life, the grey health ticking away, and Elk keeping Fisher at bay. The wave under the tower means they can escape for themselves. Elk takes a tower shot. Fisher wants more, but he just can't find it.
The way that BLG are just able to play on that knife's edge is so ridiculous. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not going to be able to go for that.
I don't blame him.
Not going to be able to go for that there, but just more gold swinging into the favor of BLG. Does Elk actually get it off this time? Oh, that was so close and so lucky. Definitely would have gone down there. We're going to jump straight into the replay. I mean, having the pressure from the fact that the Nocturne was just leading topside, the Snake, really nice reaction right on the edge of that ult coming through. And I'm surprised by the amount of damage the Snake is putting up this early. They flash forward, they're able to get this here. But Jiejie, like I said, had the ult already. The Kindred ult is able to buy a bit of time. Sadly, no level 6 on Tahm Kench, which potentially could have gotten everyone out alive in this situation. But there it is. That's the binding coming out from Elk that really just pushes everything so far in their favor.
We come back to the live game, and instantly Shun is set up right next to a tower. Once again, he's on 2 stacks right now. Solo Kill could be in trouble. I mean, they don't even need to dive. Okay, that's a TP forced out, but the Q lands, and that's Solo Kill down. Shields across the team. Fisher suddenly finds himself alone underneath the tower. Counter-Strike gets the stun. Another double kill for Shun. He's 5-2-1. There's a reason this guy is known for his Kindred. There's a reason he's got a 65% win rate on the champ.
It's just like the perfect roster for him, right? If you're the guy who plays things like Nidalee and Kindred, you need to have those winning lanes. Like with BLG, you're just always gonna have those winning lanes, always.
It's something else, man. It's absolutely something else. They're so good. And Elk even sidesteps away from the knock-up. Vampire gets away from the root, though. Feather Storm is used. Knight doesn't find his opportunity. Jiejie? I mean, I like the idea, but the question is, can he actually get a kill here? Because Elk and On, they've still got the Devourer available for them. Feather Storm on cooldown right now.
This. Okay, I'm surprised he hasn't pulled the trigger yet.
There we go, Devour comes on through. Flash available for On, but he doesn't get it off. The CC chain is good. The shield comes out. Snake getting pretty low, and On actually dives out to safety. A root comes out to Vampire, and of course, Elk is chasing in the 2v3. It's Elk we're talking about here. The big game hunter himself, and he's looking for a little bit more. Maybe he's a Vampire hunter, because this Undead is looking exactly that right here. He could be close to his death because Kindred is right here. Another spike comes on through and Shun gets himself the Gromp. Onto the tower they go.
I feel like other teams should just stop believing they have outer turrets because BLG very clearly don't agree with you. Those are their turrets as well. They're just their ATMs to take their money out of. So sorry, EDG, you gotta back up.
Elk is already on 53 souls at 11 minutes into the game. Vampire taking yet another chunk here, and Shun dives forward. He doesn't even get knocked up. Again, another dive, and again, a double kill for Shun. Been in trouble once more. Ward hops away from the Q3, flash forward from solo kill. Bin, nerves of steel, doesn't flash away from that.
It is just, I can't believe this man is surviving. But the ridiculous around bot is just insanity, man. Like, BLG just do not stop looking for these dives. Now Kraken Slayer on Shun, picking up this dragon. He's getting huge. It looked like he had 3 stacks, if I believe I saw correctly there. So, in a pretty decent place. EDG going to be able to answer back. Pick up their 4th grub of the game, but doesn't look like they feel confident to get any more.
Does feel a little dangerous with Shun in the area, with him being 7-2-1. I'm pretty sure he can just walk at EDG players at this point and win the fight anyway. This is a terrifying position to be in. He's on 3 stacks, 1 more stolen camp, and he'll be set up for success. And a little note on Kindred as well. The more stacks you get, the more things can give you stacks as well. So once he's on that 4, he can get them from, I believe it's red buff and blue buff on the other side, and then once you're on 7, I think it becomes neutral objectives as well. Not 100% sure on the numbers there. Oh! What a combo! What a combo! They get one for themselves, On somehow surviving. Anyway, how do they only get 1 kill?
I don't know, that was ridiculous. It just happened so fast too. EDG pulling the trigger, but it not really being enough. At least the Snake getting some free time down in the spot side. We could see on the minimap that Noah and BLG on their way to answering. Because I don't know if Vampire intended to W over that, over that wall there, but he wasn't able to do that. Sorry, Vampire.
You don't have to apologize. It wasn't your fault.
You know, I want to apologize though. Still a new player coming in. I'm still waiting for the EDG excitement to deliver. It will at some point. Just maybe not this split as we get to see the replay here. I mean, the timing was just so good from EDG. Yeah. Literally throwing everything. Not just the kitchen sink. They threw the whole house at them. And they timed it beautifully. But
I think, if I'm not mistaken, the animation started for the Devour from On as well. And it was actually interrupted by the shockwave. I don't know if that's even possible, but that's what it looked like. It could have just been the tongue lash, perhaps. But either way, couldn't get the Devour off, couldn't protect Elk from the oncoming storm that was Jiejie. The fish is all on top. Here we go. Round number 7 in the top lane. This time, Bin walks away with a little bit more HP.
Yeah, so going to keep the siege up. 67 souls now for Elk, so really grooving with keeping the siege up in the mid lane. They're going to have a very easy turn to Herald if they want that. Vampire just trying to buy time.
Oh my goodness. They force out the Feather Storm? I mean, this is just ridiculous, Joe, at this point.
Joe, they not only needed to break top esports record, They now need to break their own record.
Yeah, that's what it feels like, honestly. Pushing in the mid lane still off of this wave. Fisher will get a tower in the bottom side. Herald picked up. To most teams, the Herald, that's worth a tier 1 in the mid lane. To BLG, that's worth a game. This is a game-ending objective for BLG. And they've grabbed it for themselves once more. Shun moves in, and I believe this one might be a stack. It's hard to see through all the pings. But there we go. 4 stacks now for Shun.
Yeah, and you're right. 4, so now it's where he can start getting red and blue buff, Krugs, and the Big Wolf as well. Start dropping them, so gonna have a lot more places to be able to get those stacks. And now dropping the Herald. Look at Vampire on the mini-map. He's far away.
No!
Oh.
Knight, what have you done? What have you done, Knight? Oh dear, now going for a little joyride through the jungle. And, well, Herald, unfortunately, not getting the bet. You know, remember that time when I said Herald was a game-ending objective for BLG? Yeah, I take it back.
Yesterday, I think it was yesterday, when Mazel was saying on broadcast of like, when this many mishaps happen like in games, I feel like Ryan would have to do something, right? Like this just happens way too often. I mean, as a viewer, I kind of like it. It's really funny anytime the Rift Herald actually doesn't do anything, but it doesn't feel right for the game.
It's one of those things where it's like, you know, as a viewer at the start of spring, this is pretty funny and entertaining. As a viewer, when it comes to internationals and playoffs, maybe the Herald mishaps that you had to do this huge setup for and outplay your team to get the Herald, and then it just like runs itself into a wall and you gain nothing. Yeah, maybe that's like, not the optimal play.
Imagine the regional fan bases if, like, you know, like BLG lost to T1 or T1 lost to BLG because of that, or hell, even for the Western regions between like LCS and LEC rivalries, right? Like if a Cloud9 lost to a G2 because of that, or vice versa, it would be crazy.
Yeah, that would be. Imagine if KC lost to Mad because of that. That would be spicy. Yeah, there's definitely room for spice, and we could have a bit of spice on our screens any second now as BLG on the Drake already. Then again, I don't know how much EDG can really fight at this point. They are 7,000 gold down. Vampire just walks near one auto pretty much from Elk, and Autumn and a Q chunks him out of the play. Drake already taken.
Yeah, so just another objective soul point now for BLG. And just destroying this turret. Soloko's been close many times, but Shun's on his way.
Honestly, one of the best sound effects of the entire game when Jax has his W up and is just whomping away on the tower. I just want to quickly point out on the scoreboard as well. Knight built a Mage Ice with 2 stacks on his Dark Seal. He's not died, he's not lost.
I mean, look at him.
There.
Look at him. Look how happy he is.
He's just vibing. He's absolutely vibing.
You know, I think it's those vibes that scared me, right? Because BLG are just our like last year's JDG this year, like relative to everyone else in the LPL.
Yeah.
Punch that. Oh,
here we go. Attempt number 3. Flash out from Shun. And Jiejie, good spell shield from him, forced to flash away. All things considered, I think it's a bigger loss for EDG with that ultimate on cooldown now. It's just 3 sieges for BLG.
Yeah, I mean, Shun's still going to have, you know, his own way to protect himself with that ult. So now BLG going to be able to finish this one up in the mid lane and just keep forcing through. They might be sitting on a bit of gold, so I wonder... Oh, I was going to say, I wonder if they'll go for a bit of a recall, but I guess not. Because they can very easily turn towards bot side right now.
BLG recall? I don't think so, buddy. I can't remember the last time I saw BLG recall when they could end the game. I feel like the thing is, though, beyond the sort of 11-minute mark, I feel like there's always a risk of BLG ending the game.
Yeah, that's true. We're gonna see if they want to commit to anything more here, because yeah, they had their initial pivot towards spot. That's where they could have potentially tried to get something if they were fast enough. They have a wave now. A lot of EDG members are here.
Elk almost on 100 souls at this point. 89 last time I checked. Solo kill behind enemy lines. Shun the target does have that Lamb's Respite, but Cassante pretty good at knocking you around, so whether or not, though, actually, he can just kind of 1v1 him. Turns out Knight and Elk moving into the situation as well. Solo kill, perhaps overestimating what he could bring to the table there, and perhaps overestimating how much his team can follow up, because Jiejie's ult was still on cooldown at that moment.
I mean, I'm going to guess that he didn't overestimate anything, and that they're like, guys, they're destroying the base, they're knocking on the doors. Oh, nice combo again.
Chance in the mid lane, but Min is still real tanky, somehow surviving for so long. Oh my god, he flashes, forces the flash out from the snake as well. Can you imagine if he'd got away with that?
I would be tilted for EDG in that situation. Like that would have been the straw that breaks the camel's back in my mind of like, okay, this just isn't our day. Just nothing can go right. Like what do we do?
With all of the laning phase escapes as well, at that point we just start calling Bin Houdini, you know? Like,
yeah,
there's not many people that can escape quite in that way.
Does end up going down. And like, what a weird game from Bin where like, he's been putting up a lot of pressure, hasn't really needed to do much. But again, has been putting the pressure with 0, 1, and 2 on the Jax, but who cares about the Jax? Because he ain't gonna be here. No TP on him, BLG on the Baron.
Here we go. Let's see if they can do it. This is literally 4v5, but they know that Jiejie and Fisher don't have the combo up, so they're kind of just saying to EDG, what can you do about it? Calling the bluff. And they get the Baron for it. Bin had respawned in time to get the buff as well, so a little cherry on top of the cake right there. Well, BLG, once again, I feel like they just are so willing to push the enemy into uncomfortable decisions. Oh, hang on a second. Knight's pretending to be a minion. This is going to end in tears.
Okay, Knight, you're a little bit behind the pack. You aren't big and purple just yet either.
I think he's maybe waiting for the next wave. There's no way he gets away with this, right? There's no way. The minion is emoting at them. It's not very believable at this stage. Here we go. Vampire behind enemy lines. They're going for the combo. They're trying to get onto the backside, but Shun's still alive. In the meantime, Knight went in and just died underneath the tower while the rest of BLG was peeling for Shun. Shun didn't even have to use his ultimate.
No, and they're going to keep going.
The knock-up is all there. Fisher's down, and BLG, they might just end the game. What was the time of the previous game? Because they might just beat it.
I think it was 22:07. I might be wrong, but it's around that.
They could well do it. The snake forced back onto the fountain. I don't know if they've got the time. This will be 2 inhibs. They need to finish the game in like 17 seconds, and I don't think it's going to happen for them. Unfortunately, Knight going down in that previous play was enough to keep EDG in this one. Vampire trying to get onto Elk, but the Ghost Blade gets him just out of it. I mean, the spacing from Elk is fantastic. Like, their movement is just so clean.
Yeah, and I mean, right, just it's so hard to criticize this guy. He's just so good, but here we go. We started off with the emoting minion just hanging out, but like you talked about, not really having the damage to be able to take out the Kindred. They all peel for him, but Knight is an absolute psychopath for just jumping on top of the other 4 members.
He obviously thought that that they had minions to go for a dive because he was a minion, but that's not quite how that works.
No, not at all.
Yeah. Oh, well, he lost his 2 stacks on his Medjais. Absolute heartbreak for Knight.
You know, it would have been so gangster if BLG would have broke the record and then broke their own record again in the same series. It would have been great, but I do just kind of want to talk about EDG for a moment. You know, we got a lot of passionate fans. I hope no one's going to be too harsh on this very young, very new EDG roster. Definitely, this is going to be a roster that needs time. They're already doing sick combos like this.
Yeah, good little shockwave, but
no damage.
Well, yeah. It was a nice try, guys.
Yeah.
Now the rail cut across the team and a tongue lash out of the air to take Nocturne out of the picture. And BLG, they want to dot every I and cross every T, so they're going to take the top lane inhib as well. They could even send someone down to the bottom lane to finish that one off. BLG all but finishing this game out. And I think you're absolutely right, EDG. This is a summer roster, this is very much a developmental roster. Give them some time. Let's see what they've got across the course of the year. This is not a reasonable matchup to judge EDG by. And I will say, this EDG roster is so terrifying. It's like top esports happy games, except they win the happy games as well. It's just something else right now. This BLG inside the base. They want to get some extra kills, but EDG won't give them the fight.
Oh, Elk even almost going down to turret, but let's see how far they can pad these KDAs.
Oh, the snake. He's caught out by the root. Elk's roots have been fantastic this game. Time and time again, finding his targets. Fisher trying to get onto the fountain, but no chance. And they're just desperately trying to preserve KDAs at this point. Knight has died again. I don't know what was going through Knight's mind on some of these plays, but my goodness, BLG. If you don't think that this is at minimum a top 2 team in the league right now, well, you're looking at different games than I am.
Yeah, I agree. Again, funnily enough, I even have them 3rd in my end of the split rankings. But I mean, they are clearly the best team in the league right now. They're probably they probably will be the best team in the league. You know, by the time we hit MSI, I guess that's actually just the goal and the thing we have to hope for BLG is that they can maintain this, right? Is that if meta swaps come through or some different things are hit, that they can keep this up, the camaraderie's there, and they don't fall short.